I've been doing the Inktober challenge for a few years now. Sometimes just drawing whatever I want, sometimes with the official Inktober prompts. But this year, I decided to try something new to create a 31-page manga with the official Inktober prompts. And I wanted to make a video talking about it. So here it is. What I set out to do. Firstly, to complete a page every day during October and keep up with the challenge. Secondly, to draw a cohesive story using the 31 prompts. Also, I wanted to create the pages without any speech bubbles, so that the drawings themselves tell the story. The pages can be read in the links in the pinned comment below. You can check them out before or after the video. Alright, back to the video. The process. I know I just mentioned that I was attempting to draw a cohesive story, but damn was it difficult to do so with the 31 prompts provided. I tried to see if I could create a story that flowed well from the first page to the last, but I was unable to do so. Instead, some pages will show standalone stories with no connections to the previous and subsequent pages, while some other pages will tell mini stories spanning consecutive pages. For the brainstorming of the page's content, I would do it once a week, for that week's worth of pages, and then repeat it until the challenge ended. It was mostly done out of necessity because I started late, and I was spending too much time thinking instead of drawing, which was, well, the intention of Inktober, to actually draw. After brainstorming and writing down a summary of what each page would entail, I proceeded to do thumbnail sketches for each day's pages, to better visualize how the panels on the page can flow and tell the story better. After the thumbnail sketch, I would sketch the details on the paper itself, ink them over, then wait for the ink to dry before rubbing away the pencil sketches, which leads to more smudges because sometimes the ink didn't dry fully. And then use correction fluid to hide my mistakes and the smudges and draw over them. Afterwards, I would use the Copic markers for some shading or monochrome coloring, before finally drawing the panels using a black marker. The pages that I uploaded are not touched up. I just did some simple contrast and exposure edits, so you can see the mistakes here and there as you go along. I suppose that's what I missed about digital art, where you can draw in layers and just Ctrl Z your mistakes away. The outcome. Because I was too focused on finishing my previous video, I forgot all about Inktober until the first day was almost over. In the end, I only started Inktober on the second day. This kind of already showed that I failed my other objective of drawing every day in October. Not a good start to the month, that's for sure. But hey, better late than never, right? And I will definitely continue drawing every day afterwards. Right? How wrong I was. Since I also have a day job, for the weekdays, I would take a few hours at night to draw the pages. But there were days where I would be busier with work or just felt burnt out. And thus I must admit, I did not successfully keep up the streak of completing a page a day for the rest of October. This resulted in me only finishing the last page on the 6th of November. Well, let's not sweat the small details. Here are the final results of the pages, where the standalone pages were pages 1 to 5, 11 and 12, while pages 6 to 10, 13 to 19, and 20 to 31 were grouped as short stories. The story is of Inky, our main character, going on his own adventure, with the 31 Inktober prompts serving as a guide for what he experienced on his journey. He travelled to places that were out of the world, found treasures, saw mystical beings, fought against opponents, and even picked up a girl on the way. It was a pretty fun experience where I tried to draw different things, from food, to scenery, to monsters, and in different perspectives. Heck, I even slipped in a meme, because why not? What I've learned. Every time I draw is a learning experience. Definitely not because I'm forgetful and keep making the same mistakes. I learned to reduce drawing mistakes as much as possible, since it would be very messy to keep waiting for ink to dry. Apply correction fluid, then after redrawing, wait for the ink to dry again. I know this sounds like common sense, that you would definitely want to minimize your mistakes as you draw, but it was a bad habit I picked up from digital art, where I would keep redrawing the same line. In a sense, it was the flip side of what I mentioned I missed about digital art, which was allowing me to continuously undo my mistakes. Here, I will have to consciously make the effort to control my pen as I draw the lines, and be cautious of places where lines intersect, so the ink does not bleed over to unnecessary places. This actually helped with improving my accuracy and speed of drawing, which is always a good thing. Well, you might say, maybe you can just trace over a draft using a light pad, and you won't need to erase the pencil sketches that way, and it'll save more time. Well, I only got a light pad quite late into the challenge, but it turned out to be quite dim towards the bottom of the page. So I only used it for the cover page after everything else was completed. It was not as useful as I intended it to be. For using the Copic markers, I was learning about them as I went along this year's Inktober, because I never really got the chance to buy them before when I did traditional art last time. And for the Inktober I did last year, I used a cheaper brand of colored markers. So yeah, I experimented on the blending and bleeding of the markers as I drew the pages, and sometimes I just butchered them horribly, such as these pages. For the pens, using different pens with different thickness would help create depth. And here on page 1 and 31, I was trying to use a writing pen with a thinner nib to draw the details that were in the background, but it was not that obvious. For the other days, which was the majority of Inktober, I did not swap around the different pens, as I was having the mindset of getting the drawings done ASAP. I just used the lazy method of thickening the details at the front to show a difference in depth of view. The last lesson for me would be that the outcome might not be what I wanted in the beginning. The pages would require me to bring out the day's prompt, while simultaneously having details that would flow between panels. For the standalone pages, it was not much of an issue, as I could keep the panels simple and they did not need to continue to the next page. For the other days where I created a short story between a few pages, it was a challenge. I had to keep redrawing the initial thumbnail sketches to ensure the pages flow smoothly, while deciding which details to keep and remove, and which panels to be small, large, horizontal or vertical, to bring out as much of my intention as possible. You can see from my written draft for the last few pages that they are different compared to my final pages. This was because while I had the ideas in mind, drawing them out was a separate thing altogether. I was not good enough to realize the ideas, so I had to swap around the details on the go, and it became something else. That being said, I'm still proud of the final pages, because I still managed to draw my heart out. They will not be able to convey my ideas and intentions to everyone who reads them, but if somebody picked up the story and liked it, or even picked up on what I intended to show without me pointing them out, then I would see that as a win. As for the actual challenge of Inktober, I failed that miserably. On a side note, I also did speed drawing videos, mainly for TikTok and Instagram Reels, and I even posted some to YouTube Shorts. But it was really a struggle keeping up with so many social media, so I gave up posting them on YouTube Shorts. And I also did not finish editing and uploading videos for all 31 days for the other social media apps as well. The links for my other socials are in the description below, and the handles are on screen if you want to check the speed drawing videos out, or check out my other drawings, since I mainly draw and post artworks on Instagram. Well, I suppose the challenge of creating short form videos for all of Inktober will be for 2024 me. And that was pretty much what I wanted to share about my experience with drawing Inktober this year as a manga for the first time. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video, comment down below what you think of this video, or the manga if you read it already. If you want to start drawing your first manga, you can check out my video here talking about it. Also, Let me know if there are anything else you want to see. Peace.